Around 85% of cancer care in America happens within the community oncology settings, but only about 4% of clinical trial recruitment happens from within this space. The problem is that data is extremely fragmented across systems in the community oncology practices. These sites are understaffed, and it takes a while of manual work for the researchers to go and find the patients which might be eligible, and they have to do that across portals, across the systems, to match against a complex criteria in a short time window. Now, let me show you how we're solving this problem with the help of TinyFish. Here is a clinical trial that I picked from clinicaltrials.gov and ingested into the platform. So the first step would be to run a TinyFish agent against the EMR of the practice. And this will do a smart import of the patients that match this, that might be eligible for this particular trial. So this does take a little while. So I already imported some patients, and we can just run the workflow on that. So let's take this patient. So we already imported the patient's charts from the EMR, and this is the criteria that we already passed out. And let's just run the first eligibility check against this patient. So what happens here is that we extracted the criteria into neat atomic units of inclusion and exclusion, and the AI is running against this criteria and finding evidence from the patient's chart. As it is doing that, it is doing a few things simultaneously. So it is highlighting where it's finding the evidence within the patient's chart, and it is also making notes for the human reviewer to see that where this evidence came from and what the reasoning of including this evidence is. So it's making all these notes, and this is designed for the human reviewer to come in later and be able to like verify all the work and make overrides if needed. So this way, the AI will run through the criteria step by step and make its notes and annotations. And like over here, it found that some evidence is missing. So it's going to flag that. And it's going to run through the first pass in this particular way. So let's give it like a few more seconds and let it complete the first pass. So now what we see is that the AI has done a first pass, and it has found that 12 of the criteria passed, but 2 of them, they needed more evidence. So it is specifically suggesting here that gather the missing evidence. And this evidence might be in like, lab portals or radiology imaging portals or somewhere else. And this is where TinyFish really shines. So what we do is that we start the process and send out the TinyFish agents to multiple portals at the same time. And what these do is that they start looking for the same patient's medical records, lab results, imaging reports, and all of these things across various portals. So it's going to go into the portals that we specified to go to, and it's going to try and find the missing evidence from there. And then once that evidence is collected, it's brought back in, it's added to the chart. And what we do is we run the check against the criteria that did not pass the last time. And then we do another adjudication after running this. So while it is running, we still have to wait like maybe a few more seconds here. So while this runs, let me just quickly tell you about the traction. So we were approached by Rubicon Founders, which is a private equity group. They own Profound Research, which is a large site network, and site network is our ideal customer profile, which is embedded in the community oncology settings, and they provide research infrastructures for these settings to start their trials. So we did a few demos and POCs with them, and we have signed a pilot with them. We also signed the BAs with 2 other healthcare groups who are interested in clinical trial enrollment for their patients. And we are about to start this engagement with these entities in May. So the criteria ran again after the evidence was brought back, and you can see that it was able to find the evidence for the missing 2 pieces and pass this patient for the trial. The ask from the room is I'm looking to raise a pre-seed and make intros to the site net.